Yeah, so this dark side, this lower power, says repent tomorrow. It gives us this illusion that we'll have time. And that's a perfect tactic to keep people in bondage to addiction. It really makes you think that you have time. And then because if you think about it, here I've been a counselor for 30 years. Who do I see? Well, I'll say, if we want to make it real simple when it comes to addiction, I see people that are desperate, that will say are bottoming out, that their marriages are crumbling, they have health issues, they have financial disasters. And as we're sitting there talking, we realize they could have changed things 5 years ago. Of course, there are people that come in and their family members have passed away from addiction, so they're not even alive now. I don't know what that situation is, but it's a difficult situation. It's sobering. See, the word sober really comes from the Bible. It means to be in touch with reality. It says, be sober-minded and know what the will of the Lord is. Lack of sobriety is like a fog. You don't see clearly. A denial, being unawareness. And so the addiction itself helps us be unaware. In fact, so many of us have so much pain from the addiction, or even other things like childhood abuse, or just a lot of problems, health problems, that we use the addiction to numb ourselves. So the very thing we're doing is what's clouding our vision. Take it away, we suffer a lot of pain, we come out of denial, and then we're actually very sober. That's why I tell people, but at least you're sober, okay? You're not used to these feelings, but just be okay with it. That's why really having a fellowship, a fellow suffering people, and the suffering in the resourceful sense of the word. Again, addiction tricks us into thinking all suffering is somehow bad. I'm doing something wrong. No, that's just reality. Life is full of peace and joy and beauty, and one has to search for those things and see those things. But life's full of difficulties, hardships, of sickness, suffering, things that hit us blindsided. It's both. And yeah, the cup is half empty and it's half full. It's not one or the other. If we go one or the other, we're probably in trouble. So what can we do? I think it's important just to hold on to the principle that we're tricked into thinking we have a lot of extra time. But if we just jump up, move to the very next right step to take, we'll be better off. Yeah, just one day at a time. But that means calling your sponsor if you already have one, or if you don't have one, go to a meeting to try to find the sponsor. If you haven't even been to a meeting, go get a list, go online, look for a meeting. Just these baby steps to get the ball rolling. For some, you might need a counselor, and counseling isn't going to make you sober, but what it can do is give you a good therapist that understands 12 steps is going to help you through the process quicker. This is what they do for a living. They should know what works and what doesn't. And they should know, there's no real shortcuts, but we'll say more effective ways. There is a long way to do this, and there is a shorter way to do this. So I try to help people find the shortest path. Humility, that's exactly what we're talking about. Humility is the shortest path here. It's the safest path. Because many people try in their own strength, and their own power, and it just falls apart. And they may have to come back 2 or 3 years later to say, well, I've tried that, it didn't work. And then I, again, share the steps as I know them. The 12 steps help us become humble. That's what I think the steps do, the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous.